Hey friends, today I'm going to be discussing the evolution of the theory of evolution from the 1880s to now, focusing on how creationism was initially the orthodox narrative and how evolution was perceived as heresy, but now that has switched. I want to explore the interplay between orthodoxy and heresy in shaping the scientific and societal discourse during this time. A little disclaimer. I was initially going to make my project more of an attack against evolution, but I realized 5 minutes is not nearly enough time to bring sufficient evidence to the case. I decided against that, and I'm going to focus more on the history aspect. Before we get too far in, I want to make sure I'm defining my concept. So, creationism broadly is the belief in God as the creator of heaven and earth, creating everything out of nothing by an act of free will. Evolution refers to the scientific theory that species evolve over time through natural processes like natural selection and genetic mutation without the need for intervention. Evolution, as proposed by Charles Darwin, was initially a very controversial topic, and it challenged deeply entrenched religious beliefs of the day. As it was proposed, many attempts were made at first to reconcile both together, and this led to what's known as theistic evolution, which suggested that God guided the process of evolution. This ultimately failed because of the fundamental difference between creationism positing a divine intentional act of a creator, while evolution really implies a natural, unguided process that occurred over billions of years. And Darwin himself really embodied this tension between orthodoxy and heresy in the scientific realm. He never explicitly denied there being a God, but his theories really challenged the authority of the religious interpretation of the day. In the sense, he was kind of the deviant insider. He was someone who was well rehearsed with the system. He pushed its boundaries. He really created theoretical clarity, and he ended up altering the social ritual of interpreting the origins of life as we understand it. This really culminated in the famous monkey trial of 1925, pivotal moment in the debate between creationism and evolution, when a high school teacher was in trouble for teaching evolution in his school, and even though he was ultimately convicted and he had to pay a fine, the trial's media really brought attention to this conflict between religious orthodoxy and scientific heresy. Creationism was really the orthodox view of the day, and evolution was really the radical counterpart. But this is the moment where public opinion shifts, and we will start to see the growing divide between the scientific community and the religious community. Following the Scopes trial, the tide really turned in favor of evolution as the dominant narrative. Advances in genetics, the fossil record, and our understanding of natural selection really solidified scientists' discourse, and the empirical evidence really outpaced the religious explanations of creationism, leading to evolution as the dominant narrative in educational and scientific spaces. As you can see, in 1967, the Tennessee versus Butler Act was repealed, which really allowed evolution to be taught in schools. As a result of this, creationism was increasingly marginalized, and that's when creationism is no longer the orthodox doctrine and understanding, and no longer is evolution heretical. For those who embraced evolution, it really became a symbol of intellectual progress and freedom, and creationism became viewed as the relic of the earlier, less enlightened age. But recently, there has been a resurgence in the interest of creationism. Proponents have really started looking into the concept of intelligent design that our genetic makeup, kind of the order of the universe, and the odds of everything being where they are really posits a intelligent designer. And proponents argue that it really can't be random chance. So, despite this revival, intelligent design still struggled to gain any traction in the scientific community, and many scientists are continuing to view it as a simple attempt to reframe creationism as a more palatable modern guise. However, the potential bridge we could see in the future is the discovery of the Adam and Eve genes, which suggests that there are genetic traces of a common human ancestor going all the way back to people. And this sparked new discussions on the relationship between science and religion. For those interested in this topic, I would really consider looking it up further, and I linked the article to the Adam and Eve genetics down below. To conclude, Bleckmann's article really highlights that orthodoxy and heresy are not static concepts. They are evolving over time, and as new ideas challenge the existing paradigms, we kind of see a shift occur. What was once considered heretical, evolution, is now the scientific orthodoxy, and creationism, once orthodox narrative, is now heretical in the scientific community. The power of orthodoxy is that it creates its own opposite, what is heretical. The rise of evolution to orthodoxy and the marginalization of creationism reflect the dynamic, ever-changing nature of knowledge and belief systems. Thank you.